Hey everybody, John Millen here with MillenGroup, Benefit Hackers. I'm going deep into the rabbit hole on this amazing CEO's guide to healthcare costs. I've been offering this as a free version. I'll send this to you, just let me know. But I'm going deeper into the rabbit hole because some of you are reading this, some of you are thinking about reading it, some of you have no interest in reading it, doesn't matter. I want to talk about something called the annual benefits KABUKI dance. I didn't know what a KABUKI dance was. Apparently it's something you can look up for yourself. But in here, there's a section on page 4, right at the beginning, where it talks about this dance. And we all can relate, right? We go through this benefits process where 3 to 6 to 12 months out from when your plans renew, that month that they switch over, that happy time when benefits get much better and costs go down. Right? Not really. Costs go up and coverage goes down, or consistently over time it does. And it's funny when I talk to CFOs or HR, mostly HR professionals, and like, oh, we've had a pretty good last couple of years. Really? Your costs went down and your coverage got better? Well, no, it was not too bad. The increase wasn't too bad. Oh, really? What's not too bad? Oh, 5, 6, 7% a year. Oh, and did you make any change to the out-of-pocket maximum coverage? Well, yeah, we had to adjust that over time. And did you change your copay levels to make them more expensive? Yeah, and we also put in an HSA plan. Okay, great. So you just cost shifted everything to your employees, but you're doing pretty good. So that's the annual dance. So what's the rabbit hole I'm going down? This is a perfect example in this book, and I can't say it any better. So I'm not gonna read the whole book to you. Unless you want me to, but I don't think you do. So there's a section here that Craig Lack, who is president of Catalyst Health, he's an amazing guy. Look him up, Craig Lack, L-A-C-K, just an amazing person, number one, human being, individual, honest, smart as crap, been in the industry a long time, has seen a lot of stuff, and just tells the truth, which is hard for people to take. So if you like the truth, you should look him up and follow him. But he talks about that employers have been led to believe the best they can hope for is merely a less bad rate increase, despite the fact that there's been little to no increase in the underlying costs of medicine. What? Despite the fact that there has been little to no increase in the underlying costs of medicine. Lack said the following, and I want you to pay attention because this is really important. Whether you're CFO, CEO, or HR, every year, don't get offended, this is just kind of the way it is. For most companies, may not be you, but for most companies it is. Every year, CFOs ask their human resources team for a budget increase target, right? Especially important in nonprofits we're seeing. And sometimes that increase is, hey, do we need to budget for a 10% increase, 12% increase, 7%, or we only can go up 5%, whatever it is. They ask for a budget increase target. The overburdened and risk-averse nature of human resources at most organizations is to preserve the status quo. The insurance companies know this and typically come in with an increase of 11 to 14%. The insurance brokers know this and negotiate, right, a less bad increase. I've had to do that, right? Have to do that. Staying below the CFO's target, and there you have it. Check the box. Healthcare can be put to bed. See you next year. That's what passes for healthcare risk management at far too many organizations. Does that sound familiar? Unless you are already on the path to fully self-funding with claims management, specialized vendors, direct primary care, and steerage for employees, in a consortium for your stop loss. Just because you may be, I'm level funded, good, but you are far from getting your PhD in what you can do. It's good. Oh, I'm self-funded. Oh, really? Yes. We use Cigna or Anthem or United Healthcare. Great. But do you have this, and this? Oh, no. No, we don't control our claims. We just pay stop loss insurance. So to understand, the dance is different. Because I get a lot of this back when I'm communicating with CEOs or CFOs, like, oh, we're good, we're self-funded. And that's, okay, great, tell me more. Oh, we use one of the BUCAs, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, United Healthcare, C is Cigna, and A is Aetna, BUCA. We call them the BUCAs. Okay, great. So they're controlling the whole stack of healthcare. Can you change the TPA? No. Can you put in a specialty pharmacy carve-out? I don't think so. I'll ask. Great. Can you change the pharmacy benefit manager? I think we can. No, you can't. So just understand there's this evolution no matter where you are. Now you may already be at the pinnacle, and if you can, you don't need this. You've arrived. Like, forget, tune me out, delete, unsubscribe. It's okay. But most companies are not. Most companies between 50 and 500 employees are not there, which is why we do this, which is why we like to hack the system in a legitimate way of proving it. And so what Craig talks about is this dance, this annual dance, and everyone feels so good. And I get it, we all have different roles. I own the company, I'm part owner of my company, so I have sometimes this CEO hat, the owner hat, the president hat, whatever you want to call me. Sometimes I'm in the sales role, so I'm in a sales position, or marketing like I'm doing now, I'm conveying some information. So in your team, you will have a human resources team and understand their role, and their perception of things is different than the CFO. And that's what you want. You want a good HR CFO team. You don't want one or the other. You want a balance, because you're talking about people, human resources, people and recruiting and retention and morale and productivity. Some of those things are very hard to measure. How do you measure morale? You measure it because you have a great work environment and due to some human resource initiatives you have going on, not some CFO initiatives that are driving morale most of the time. But you need the CFO piece for the financial piece. Look, we cannot continue to pay 9% a year and squeeze and shift the cost to our employees. And we cannot go into the unknown with unknown risk. And then you have the CEO, which is more vision, more making sure the team is working, but ultimately the decision maker is gonna fall on the C level. And if you're a CEO, president, or owner of a company between 50 and 500 employees, in most cases, the buck stops with you. And if you're a nonprofit and you have a board of directors, now you have to really have great oversight to say, I'm doing all I can do. I've reached a point where we can no longer just rely on the relationships of the past to get us into the future. We have to be open to new ideas. Otherwise, we could get burned big time. So this dance happens, and we as brokers use that. We go, okay, I get an increase. It's a fully insured group. Maybe the group is not ready to move to the next level, right? They're straight fully insured. There's only limited things we can do. We can shift the risk, from the insurance company to a reinsurance carrier. We can use a zero deductible solution to shift some of that, and that helps a lot. But sometimes there's limitations, and sometimes it's negotiating with the carrier. Hey, they gave us 12. We know that's not their best offer. They don't want to lose the business. We've been with them 3 years. We don't want to disrupt everything, but we can't afford 12, so we go back and say 8, and we end up at 8.2. But I get it. I've been in this dance before. But if that's your strategy, is that sound? Like, that is your strategy, to wait 80 days before the plan renews when you get the notice, and sometimes it's 60 days, and understand the healthcare ecosystem is only projecting costs out typically every 90 days. So they're not going to release your renewal 6 months ahead of time. In most cases, they're not. I'm talking about fully insured, level funded, those kinds of categories. You're getting the renewal no sooner than 90 days before it changes. That's not really even 90 days, because you have to get changes into the carrier 30 days before the switchover if you want people to have coverage, especially if you're changing carriers. So you have 60 days. Well, you really don't ever get it on day 90. You get it on day 80, or the broker gets it, I should say, day 80, 75. They have other things, they have other clients, they have other things happening. They're not going to jump on every single time unless you're their only customer. There is a process, they get it. They go through it, they analyze it, they make sure nothing's weird going on. And then you're given like this tiny, tiny window to control your healthcare spend, which is one of your greatest recruiting tools in 2022 post-COVID. It probably always has been, but especially now, to recruit and attract talent. What does that cost you if you can't attract people because your health plan is crap? But we have an HSA plan, John, and our employees really love it. They contribute, and they just love that $5,000 deductible that they have because they save a little money on the premium, but they never really want to use the plan. And then we have this buy-up plan. We actually have 2 buy-up plans. So if they want to really get screwed over and pay 50% of their salary towards healthcare, then they can go on those. But we have this great plan. Look, I'm not bashing health savings accounts, but I'm telling you, if that's your strategy, it hasn't worked. Has it really worked? Put it all on the consumer, let them figure it out. Hope they save $5,000. If you're paying them $55,000 a year, they're not going to ever get there. So this dance happens. And what I'm suggesting is, as the CEO or CFO or HR, is you say, let's do something different. There was something in the beginning of this book that said, this all starts with the U.S. healthcare. U.S. healthcare is complicated, powerful, and doing everything possible to maintain the status quo. You're going up against a $4 trillion industry that does not want to change. You have to get that. They are making an insane level of profit. Ridiculous. Look at pharmaceutical. And guess who's paying for it? You are paying for it, your employees are paying for it, your company is paying for it, and that's money you're taking out of your profits and just pushing it over and say, well, this is what we do, we dance, and we hope we get a less bad increase because there's nothing we can do. That's what my broker said. I'm saying you fight back and you say that I'm looking for a better way. And it says meaningful change generally finds its genesis in small, seemingly insignificant acts. What's the act? Making a decision that you're going to forget what you've been told and you're going to say, I am open to some new information. I don't know what I don't know. And that is really hard for type A CEOs, CFOs, HR managers, directors. You've been doing it 25 years. I know what I'm doing. I get it. It's hard for me to do. When I have to learn new things about healthcare or strategies, I have to open my mind and go, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I can't possibly know everything. Things change. I cannot know everything. So, all right, tell me about that thing you want to talk to me about. I'm open to talking to vendors because they're the expert of solving the problem. Get a call, someone saying, hey, we really help reduce the pharmacy spend of companies because we have someone else pay the bill or whatever they talk about. I'm like, yeah, that sounds really hard. They're like, how's that? So I open myself up to have a conversation. I say, hey, yeah, I got 15 or 20 minutes. Tell me the problem. Tell me how you solve it, what makes you different, and educate me. And that's really what this is. This is really why I buy this book. Why do I spend $20 and then another $25 for FedEx and then the time to send it to people? Because I'm looking for open-minded people to potentially have a conversation. That's my goal. I want to have a conversation with you. Whether we can help you or not, it doesn't matter at this point. I want to have a conversation and say, tell me what's going on. Now I'm an unbiased person. I'm not getting paid by anybody. And one of the last points I'll make is, and I did a video on this about, show me the incentive and I'll show you the result, or I'll show you the process. Where is the incentive? So sometimes you need advice from people that have no incentive, that are unbiased. And the trick is you don't want to, so when I talk to someone, I don't care who you use. So the attack mentality of, who are you using? Oh, Bob Smith down the street. Yeah, Bob's got a small office. It's only got 3 people. Been in business for a while, but we have 3,000 people. We have a lot of resources. We got attorneys, we got compliance, we do your 5500s, like we got this whole machine. We don't go that route. It doesn't matter. I don't care who you're using. It's what are you doing? What's your process? Where are you now? What's happened in the past? Where do you want to go? What's changed? It's strategic. It's not selling. It's what is your cost? And I'll give you a couple things. How many employees do you have on your healthcare plan? Not employees plus kids plus spouses. Just how many employees have enrolled in your healthcare plan of whatever plan you offer, whatever that number is. I was talking to a nonprofit. I'm talking to one now. 63 employees on medical out of 64. It's like, whoa, okay. So I'm just having a conversation, CFO. What is your annual healthcare spend? Like when you write a check every month to who to use? And again, it doesn't matter. We use, and I'm not even going to say it, whatever the company is. Great. What do you send them every month? Total. Did the math. It was, I don't know, $700,000, no, almost 800,000. I forget the number. And you take the total spend for your health care. And the key is you got to add to that number other things, other Band-Aids. I talked about this. So you have your core health plan you're paying for, and then they say, oh, we have this company said we have an HRA. We pay the first $3,000 of the deductible through a health reimbursement arrangement, not an HSA, an HRA. Oh, so that's a Band-Aid. How much do you spend for that? That was about 60 or 70 grand a year. No. Straight line, it was 80,000 a year. And we also have an HSA plan, and we match, and that goes on top of the next Band-Aid. And we have supplemental insurance, voluntary benefits like accident, cancer, critical illness, hospital confinement, really great products. We offer that. Okay, great. How much total is being spent by your employees on that? Look at your bill. Okay, $80,000 a year, your employees are spending additional money to protect the risk here. So you got HRA, HSA, supplemental, you even have FSA, flexible spending, right? You want to save 10 to 15, 20 cents out of a dollar to pre-tax it, great. It's really all you're saving, most employees. It's a little bit. You can balance it out. So what's that? You add those numbers up and you divide by 63. And it gives you your per employee per year cost, PEPY. It's the first number I try to get to in that conversation. What is your per employee per year cost? And it averages it, neutralizes it based on the size. This company, this nonprofit, was well over $10,000, which is on the high side compared to other clients that we work with, other clients like these. So when you read this, you're like, their per employee per year cost is only $5,500. Holy cow, that's half of what we're spending. Or you talk to us and I say, yeah, I just work with an organization, similar situation, not similar necessarily industry, although that can happen, similar situation, and their PEPY, after we got involved, is $7,200, and it was $10,000. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars of first year savings. And the key is the benefits didn't get worse. They all got better, which people don't believe, which is why you need to have a conversation, which is why, how is it possible that they reduce healthcare costs and make the coverage better? Riddle me that. And that's what you learn when you open your mind. There are things. Does it work every time? No. Does anything work all the time? No. But it works a lot. So if this is helpful, check out the other videos. I'm going down the rabbit hole. But I will tell you, this is one of the most meaningful things you can do related to your employees. There's lots of things you can do as an owner, CFO, HR. Lots of things you do in your career to help people, no doubt. And this is one of them. Like, you take your healthcare plan that, if you really think about it, you're like, oh, we spend $800,000 a year for the privilege of every employee spending another $3,000 a year just for them, or $6,000 for their family before anything really starts to kick in. That's not health care for them. And when you realize you can go, wait, we're going to drop that deductible down to 0 or 500, and we're going to give everyone a copay, so when they go to the specialist, they're not hammered with a $400 bill. They only pay a $25 copay for the specialist or primary care. And then if they need surgery, we have this a little bit, or if they want testing, which is the next phase, they only pay $250, because what happens to healthcare if you don't take care of it? Does it get better or worse over time? You only kick it down the road, the can, so far before the shoulder that's hurting me becomes shoulder surgery because I never took care of it. And now I'm out for 6 weeks or 6 months. Cost you 10 or 20 times the amount just in medical, but also in morale and my ability to work and everything else. So if you want to take care of your employees, get this book and start learning some new stuff. Check us out, MillenGroup.com.